And now, Legal Perspective with Nick Clekis.
From helping students excel in their studies to raising serious concerns about academic integrity, artificial intelligence is transforming education in ways we're only beginning to understand. Here to provide a legal perspective on this evolving landscape is Zoey Clekis, law clerk at Clekis Law Firm. Zoey, thank you for being here with us today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
AI is becoming a major player in education. We can't avoid it. How are students using artificial intelligence in their day-to-day in their studies?
Students use AI for crazy amounts of things, whether it be making outlines for essays or copy and pasting notes to make it more digestible with complex topics, or even just to check grammar on a final essay. So there are various ways that students have been using AI today.
And all of those things that you listed they sound very ethical, like things that, they're not crossing the line, but there is a line. When we think about AI in schools, academic integrity is the main point that people keep bringing up. So what are some of the risks of students using AI or professors allowing students to use AI?
I'm glad you asked. It definitely is an ethical question that we need to address, because a lot of times if students were to use it unethically, they could write an entire essay and turn it in claiming that it's their own work. And I think professors have started to realize this. And so there's AI detectors or ChatGPT detectors now that if you run something through, you can see if it's AI heavy or not. But the problem with this is that sometimes students' writing will be flagged as AI if it's completely their own work as well. So it's kind of a slippery slope with that. But there's definitely some unethical ways that it's being used as well.
Yeah, and to piggyback off what you just said, if you were to write a paper and you put it into ChatGPT and it, to check for grammar, and then you turn that paper in, would that get flagged?
I think sometimes it can, yeah, for sure.
Okay. And it's hard because you have to find a balance, and I think as the years go on and we learn more about AI, it's here to stay, we'll be able to find what works. But do you think that professors should allow their students to use AI? Is there any way to ban it?
I think there should definitely be regulations because, as we said before, there's some unethical and unfair ways of using it. But it is a tool like a calculator where you can use it to benefit your work, where it's helpful and you're still learning, but there's also some bad ways of using it where I don't think should be allowed. But I think it should be allowed in schools because, as you said, it is here to stay. So we need to learn how to work with it in a way that benefits the students in learning, because not everybody learns the same way. So if AI can help in that regard, then I think that it's definitely something that should be considered between schools.
So rather, we're using it as a tool instead of a crutch.
Absolutely.
Okay. And when we're talking about in a legal setting, how is AI being perceived?
So I think it's similar kind of to the school, where if it's being used as a crutch, that's definitely not a good thing, because AI is essentially a tool to make humans' lives easier. And they want to please the user. So oftentimes it will give you an answer that might not be right just because it wants to give you an answer. So there have been instances where lawyers have written case briefs with AI and they've been suspended because of it, because sometimes the cases are non-existent, but AI wants to give them an answer. And so judges will see that and know that that's not a real precedent or a case that's been decided before, and they get suspended. So I think if it's using to make your process more efficient and you are going back and checking that and making sure that everything is logistic and correct, then I think it can definitely be helpful. But
I do want to ask you, we mentioned ChatGPT. I feel like that's kind of like the biggest AI, the most popular one. Are there any others that you're seeing that are useful for students or people in their professions?
Yeah, so I've recently found out about one called Notebook LM. And so you can basically upload pages and pages. I think the limit's maybe like 100 pages of notes. And it will analyze all of these notes and create a podcast for you between two people. And so you can listen, and it's like a 20-minute podcast based on 100 pages of notes that could be really complex topics that make it really easy for certain people to understand if they're more of an auditory learner and don't understand the things that are being thrown at them from a textbook or whatnot, then I think that that can be really helpful too. Once again, if used
properly and ethically.
Exactly.
This is a very interesting topic, and I'm very curious to see how this landscape is going to change over the next 5-10 years. Zoey, thank you so much for being here with us today. Clekis.com, 8439 million is where you can go for all of your legal needs, and we're back in 2 minutes.
This has been Legal Perspective with Nick Clekis.